Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path.
Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be reading in Psalm 16. I'm going to be reading from the English Standard Version. Preserve me, O God, for in you I take refuge. I say to the Lord, you are my Lord. I have no good apart from you. As for the saints in the land, they are the excellent ones, in whom is all my delight. The sorrows of those who run after another God shall multiply. Their drink offerings of blood I will not pour out, or take their names on my lips. The Lord is my chosen portion and my cup. You hold my lot. The lines have fallen for me in pleasant places indeed. I have a bountiful inheritance. I bless the Lord who gives me counsel. In the night also my heart instructs me. I have set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand. I shall not be shaken. Therefore my heart is glad, and my whole being rejoices. My flesh also dwells secure, for you will not abandon my soul to Sheol, or let your Holy One see corruption. You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. As David begins this psalm, he is acknowledging that Jehovah is Lord and is his Lord. David continues his statement with, I have no good apart from you. The realization and admission that statement holds is a source of freedom for us as humans. Verbalizing things tends to give them more meaning than us merely thinking about them. I believe this statement shows David's humility and recognition of his weakness while boasting in the refuge that God provides for us. We would do well to consider David's statement and consider verbally admitting that same statement ourselves. As David continues in his psalm, he remembers and delights in those that love the Lord. For me, this is something that I have to be reminded of. I'm not continually doing it, but David verbalizing that again is something that means we can be thinking about that probably more often than we should do. As we move into verse 4, David shows his disapproval of those who are following other gods. He recognizes their efforts to follow those other gods, while they may be genuine efforts, are useless. David will not have anything to do with this pagan worship that they are involved in. He is most certainly probably talking about these physical gods, idols that these other pagans are worshiping. But we should not overlook that in our own times we have those same temptations as Christians, although they look a little bit different. Attempting to serve the gods of our time, such as love of money, pornography, pride, political heroes, serving ourselves, having our earthly desires, and the list that goes on, will lead us to nothing but sorrow and emptiness. David recognizes that as he expresses here in the text, but do I recognize that? As we move to verses 9 and 10, this is a very well-known statement about Christ. Therefore, my heart is glad, my whole being rejoices. My flesh also dwells secure. For you will not abandon my soul to Sheol, or let your Holy One see corruption. This particular section of writing is quoted in Acts 2 and 25 through 28 on the day of Pentecost. I see this as a profound statement of David's confidence in Jehovah. As David concludes this psalm, he concludes it with a statement of comfort. Verse 11 says, You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. When we consider that the first line of this psalm is preserve me, O Lord, for you I take refuge, for in you I take refuge. We literally have a refugee praying to the Lord, who now at the end has so much to boast about in this last statement. This is what the Lord can do for each of us. And when I think about that last statement, those words are so comforting to know how much we do truly have in the Word of God. But then we have to put our pride behind us and realize that and get into the Word and see what He's trying to tell us. One thing that I'd like you to think about: do I find the same confidence and comfort in God that David did? One thing I would like you to pray for: a heart for studying your word and finding the blessings in it. Thanks for joining us today. We look forward to continuing our study in Psalm 17 and learning how we can know God better.